Hey everybody, welcome back. More Shop Time with Dave for you. Well, this time around, we're going to be working on the PM Research number 3 steam engine a little bit more. I thought we'd tackle the Eccentric and the Crosshead today. So let me get you flipped around and I'll show you what we got. Well, here we go. Probably start with this Eccentric hub here, and then we'll move on to doing the little Eccentric strap. Not a huge big deal on that. Then we'll get to the Crosshead. So we're at the lathe. I have our piece of stock, which is already at the correct diameter, put into a 5C collet inside of a square collet block inside the good old 4-jaw. Now pay attention to this needle here. These hash marks represent a 1/2 thousandth of an inch. So we got just a little bit of variance, and that's probably just the rough surface of the stock finish there. But I'd say we're plus or minus a half easily on this. Well within what we need to be for what we're doing and what's going to happen. Okay, as always, let's start by facing it off. The eccentric is going to be what causes the valve to move 200 thousandths back and forth to open and close the ports to allow the air of the steam on the one side or the other of the piston. Okay, we need to move the carriage over 3/16 or 187. So you guys watch this needle, and when it goes 187, you yell at me and tell me to stop. $50, $100, $50, $10, $20, $30. There we go. Now that the carriage is moved over 3/16, I'm going to come in here and just touch this a little bit as a visual cue, so that I just kind of easily stop, and we'll stop just shy of that on the beginning passes. On the final pass, then we'll go the full 3/16. Now we can see I got a little bit of a mark there I can watch. Let's start making some cuts. Just doing a visual check, get an idea how much more to go yet. I was just doing a little check there. We're at about 595. We need to be at 500. know how well you can see that. We're about 500 and a half. I think we're gonna call it good. I'm gonna come in here, right up against it again, touch off, make this our last pass. Need some extra light in here. Okay, that's going to do it for our little eccentric boss. What do you say we put a little center drill mark in there? This cold rolled steel is a little harder to drill than what the soft brass was. Remember, we don't want to push it and break our little end of our center drill off. That'll ruin our day. That'll give us a nice little starter hole. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this up a little bit with a 7/32 drill. Let's do it. That gets us a nice starter hole. I'll move it up to the next size drill now. Let's open this up a little bit more at the 15/64. Let's finish that with a 1/4 inch reamer. Nice. For the next step, let's go ahead and put a little tiny chamfer on that. That's all it needed. Real quick here with the indicator, I wanted to show you that we got it pretty well dialed back in within about a half. Next thing to do is put a relief groove in there. I've touched off of this face right here. I need to move over 75 and then another 100 from there. So a total of 175. $50, 100, 50, should be 175 right there. So we're aiming for 475 on our depth. Let's hit it. Get up there. Okay, let's back out. Yeah, I need to back off by 50 thousandths so we can make this groove 100 thousandths wide. Kind of run it back just a little bit each side, open it up a little bit, clean out the bottom. I'm just about ready to park this little guy off. We just got to shift that way. So we need to go 50 thousandths over so the back side of our tool is lined up with the groove. Then we need to go another 75 after that. So there's 50. Our tool's lined up with this groove. Now we need to go 75. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 5. Caliper set on 7/16. Looks good there. Without inner hole being offset like that, I'm not sure what's going to happen, if it's going to break off, fall into our little catcher, or if we'll have to stop and break it off by hand. We'll just have to play it by ear and see. Let's go in here with the file real quick, see if we can take some of that burr off. I think we broke our tool. Well, I think what happened was when we hit the center hole, just a little bit of it, it snagged the tool and broke it. I'm not surprised. So wherever there's a problem, there's a solution. We'll just finish by hacksawing it off. You guys see that? Well, that hurts your pride, doesn't it? We'll see if we can clean that up a little bit. Okay, I've put it back in the collet. We're just going to face this off here. Not so bad, not so bad. Well, there we go. There's our recovery. There's a little bit of a booger on it, but I don't think it's going to cause any problems. It's smooth when you run your finger across it. It's visual, but I don't think it's going to cause a problem with the eccentric ring. Here's a little trick. I let it balance on this drill and put a dot where I want the hole at while I clamped it. Now I can take the drill out. Okay, I'm going to move the table. I got a 3/16 drill in here, and I'm going to line the back side up with this edge here, and then line it up over the top of that white dot, and that'll put us right where we need to be. Looks good right there. All right, let's see if we can put a little starter dimple in there. Now our tap drill. We're ready to tap. I'm going to put a little bit of tap juice on here. We're just going to do this by hand. Slow and steady. You can see we're making some chips. Looks like we're through. Good fresh sharp tap's the key. And lots of patience, which I don't have much of. There's our eccentric on the crankshaft. It's just sitting there right now, but it gives you an idea of what's going on. That'll create the motion that opens and closes the valves to let steam or air into the ports. Time to start on the little eccentric strap. It's already to length. Technically it's slightly undersized, but it's just fine. So it's telling us to put a little chamfer on each side, so let's get started with that. That's all it needed. I got a boring bar in here now. Let's just come in here and very gently skim it and get a measurement to start with. It's making some little chips. Running it again. Let's try again. That's a pretty good fit. Probably better stop messing with it while I'm ahead. And so you guys don't call me out on this. I flipped it around. We're going to chamfer the backside real quick. Well, we're back at the mill. We got her clamped down in the vise. You know my tricks by now. We'll use this 1/4 inch drill to line up. And this gap is right at a 1/4 inch. That'll work. Don't remember if you've seen this one yet or not. Line up them 2 lines. That'll work. Let's get our center drill to pop a little starter divot in there. Now the tap drill. Now we need to put a 3/16 spot face on there for a jam nut to lock against. That's all I needed. Put a spot of oil on there. Try to go as gently as we can. This is a little teeny tiny tap. Looks like we're through. And that brings us to the last piece we're going to do for this video. Let's get started on it. So I have our blank set in the vise here. And we need to clean up this edge so we know that it's a true 90 degrees to the other edge. So we can set it on some parallels. Let's ease in until we just touch it a little. Now bring it over. Doesn't have to go very far. Just enough to clean it up. That's all it needed. So we're at 740 on our length here, and we need to get it down to 625, 5/8. And we'll do that by nibbling away at it. We'll take 50, 50, and then 15, or 115 total. There's 100. Five, 10, 15. Well, we're close. We hit 620. Guess we overshot it just about 5 thousandths. Not going to hurt anything. The drawing's giving us plus or minus 15. We're good to go. So now we got an edge find to find our spot to drill a hole. And I'm choosing to go ahead and go through the whole block to add support. In the next step, it's going to get rounded, and it'll be easier with this flat surface to put the hole through now than what it would be on the round surface. So watch our wiggle, and when it kicks to the side, we know we're on the edge. Okay, we're on the edge. Raise it up. Our nub down here is 200 thousandths. Half of that's 100, so we need to move into 100 so that the center line is lined up with this edge. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. The stock is 3/16 thick, and we need to be in the middle of it. Half of 3/16 is 3/32, and that comes out to 94 thousandths. So we need to go 94 thousandths more. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need to do the same on this side. Kick to the side, we're on the edge. Exactly the same. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Center line of our tool is lined up with the edge. Need to go 94 more. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's time to put our little dimple in there to get us started. Looks like we're pretty close. Let's drill. Make sure we keep them chips cleared out. Looks like we're through. Much the same as we did before. I want to move over a 1/4 inch and give myself a little visual cue. So I'm going to move you over here to the dial. Yell at me when we get to 250. 50, 100, 50, 250. 250. Well, we got quite the wild setup here. Putting this weird rectangular shape in a lathe just seems odd, doesn't it? But we made it work. I got some little packing added in here because those jaws didn't quite work out. They bottomed out on me. But here we go. Let's try it. I'm just going to go in and make a little mark on it. We got us a little mark there. That'll help me to know when to stop. Slow and steady wins the race on this one, boys. Try to get down to 3/8. We're at 6:59. We're at 420. $392. $376. I think we're going to call it right there. Okay. We got our little rounded edges just like the drawing shows. In the sense of saving some time, I went ahead and touched off, changed the tool, and got ready for our next cut. We need a 5/32 slot in here, a 1/4 inch deep, and the closest I have to that is an 1/8 inch ball nose end mill. Not ideal, but it's what I got to work with. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I think there's going to be plenty clearance. We'll just have to widen out the groove about 15 thousandths on each side. And I think we'll be good to go. Let's try making a cut. Let's try 25 thousandths at a time. That's a lot of flex, and I don't want to break the only end mill I got. We're halfway. Last pass. Widen out the groove a little bit. Last pass on groove widening. Nice. I think it looks really good. Here's our little guy. One little operation to go. We've got to tap a hole in here. 540. I got us lined up. Got a center drill in there. Let's make a dimple. Our tap drill's in. Let's pop the hole through it. Last thing to do, thread that hole. Nice and easy. Keep that tap clean. We've got quite a bit of material to go through on this one. Let's go ahead and pop it out and see how far we made it. Got a little ways to go yet. Definitely time to clean them flutes out. Little lube ain't gonna hurt it none. Looks like we're through to me. Well, that about brings us to the end of another one. There's our eccentric strap, and our little crosshead. And just in case I didn't mention it already, I went ahead and took care of the crankshaft too. It was already the length, it just needed the ends chamfered a little bit, so it wasn't interesting. Just wanted to make sure you knew it was done. Well, everybody, I guess that's going to wrap us up for another one. We're getting pretty much down to the end of the PM Research number 3 steam engine. So you better come back and watch some more Shop Time with Dave. Yep, thanks for watching.